I'm here in Langsett, where one of my ancestors worked as a wheelwright in the early 1800s. His story on its own may seem ordinary, but it tells us something bigger, a story of movement, of trade and travel across the Pennines, and of how people lived, worked and migrated through places like this. This video isn't just about one man, it's about how landscapes like Langsett can help us understand the lives of our own ancestors and the path they may have taken. Langsett today is a peaceful place, home to one of the largest reservoirs supplying Sheffield and Barnsley, and a favourite spot for walkers exploring the South Pennine moors. But this quiet landscape hides a history of disruption and defence. To create the reservoir, farms like North America Farm were abandoned. Their ruins still sit on the moor, reminders of the communities displaced for progress. During the Second World War, Langsett's importance didn't go unnoticed. The reservoir was a key water supply and a potential target for enemy bombers. The surrounding moorland became a military training ground, and tank ramps and artillery sites were built into the hillsides. They're still here, out of reach, half hidden, but they tell us that even this quiet valley played a role in a global war. Langsett has always been shaped by the routes that passed through it. An old Roman road runs through the hills here heading towards Penistone. It may have once formed part of a much longer route across the Pennines. The track still exists, though now overgrown and quiet. My ancestor William Earnshaw lived nearby at a farm called Judfield. He worked as a wheelwright, repairing wagons for people travelling these routes. The farm still stands today and was once used as a Quaker meeting house. Finding places like this through old maps and family stories help bring our ancestors' lives into focus, not just who they were, but where they lived, worked and moved through the world. For generations, the moors above Langsett were crossed by traders and travellers heading between Yorkshire and Lancashire. One of the main routes was known as the Salt Road, or Salter's Brook. Salt, likely coming from Cheshire, was one of the most valuable goods carried across these hills. Just off the old route at the Flouch, there's still a milestone that reads, Barnsley 11 miles, Manchester 25, a quiet reminder of the long journeys that once passed through this landscape. Travellers needed places to rest, and Langsett had them. The Dog and Partridge, still standing today, dates back to the Elizabethan period. It would have been a welcome stop for food, shelter and stabling on the way over the Woodhead Pass. Further along the route stood the old Salter's Brook Inn, located on the Saltway Packhorse route and the original turnpike road to Sheffield. It was demolished in 1920, but its stone still lies scattered across the moor. These routes are almost forgotten now, but their traces remain if you know where to look. For people like my ancestor, a wheelwright in the village, these crossings meant work and a constant flow of stories passing through. Eventually, even the old trade roads across the moors gave way to something faster, the railway. In the mid-1800s, the Woodhead line connected Sheffield to Manchester with a bold new route. It passed through the Woodhead Tunnel, right beneath the Pennines, beginning near Dunford Bridge not far from Langsett. The railway changed everything. Coal, textiles and people could now move across the landscape far more efficiently. Over time, the old roads were used less and less, and villages like Langsett became quieter. The tunnel is now closed and trains no longer run here, but the route survives as part of the Trans-Pennine Trail, a long-distance walking and cycling path that follows the old railway line. It's easy to miss the industrial past when you walk it today, but the tracks, tunnels and engineering that once cut through this landscape were a powerful symbol of progress, and they reshaped the lives of everyone nearby. Langsett was part of the parish of Penistone, a town just down the road that's been a local hub for centuries. Penistone received its Royal Market Charter in 1699 and became a key destination for the goods moved across the moors. It was also where people gathered for worship, fairs and trading. For villages like Langsett, Penistone was where the outside world met the everyday. And that's really the story of this landscape, movement. From Roman roads to salt routes, water pipelines to railway tunnels, Langsett has always been shaped by the paths that pass through it. My ancestor William Earnshaw worked here as a wheelwright. He kept wagons moving, carts steady, lives on track, and later his family moved west, across the Pennines, to settle in Glossop. I sometimes wonder what route they took. Did they pass through these same moorland paths? Did the stories they heard from travellers of new work, new towns, nudge them forward? Whatever their reasons, I've walked the same hills they might have crossed, and in that way, some part of their journey carries on. If you've ever wondered where your ancestors walked, or what they left behind, I hope this inspires you to go and find out. If you're exploring your British roots or just enjoy discovering quiet corners of history, subscribe and join me on the journey.